Oliveras back from injury, and Justo Picado, a debutant in waiting as well. So Henshaw slotting in for Bundy Aki. Brian O'Driscoll, interesting selection, that one.
Yeah, it kind of felt as though they needed some change of some kind. You don't want wholesale change just because it hasn't worked out in one game, but yet you still need to make a marker of some point and send a reminder to everyone that there is someone there to replace you if you don't turn up. It's very hard to go with the same outfit on the back of last week's performance. So Bundy is the one that misses out. Robbie Henshaw and he, there's not much between them anyway in the selection process, and Robbie came in and did a phenomenal job in South Africa during the summer. So maybe it's on the back of that performance, his lack of game time this year hasn't worked for him, but huge day for Ireland. There was talk of potentially 4 wins. That can't be achieved anymore. They've got to be thinking about 3, but starting with the first one.
Little juggle from the kickoff for Juan Cruz Malia, playing at fullback for the Argentinians, and a charge down and trouble potentially. It's swept up and tidied up by Oviedo of Argentina, and a little panicky in these early stages. Referee tonight is Paul Williams of New Zealand, keeping a close eye on the ruck as Bertranu feeds it out. And another clearance that doesn't make it all the way. Only to Lowe, who opens it up straight away. Hansen steps off that right foot, tries to create the space for Van der Fleer. Terrific start this from the Irish, pressurising every which way. Lowe again. Gibson Park. To the shorter side, Hansen floats one over the top. Keenan held on the 22 and held back nicely, and Van der Fleer again is launching himself into those Puma defenders. Crowley for Kelleher, slips it away to Henshaw. Good pressure this from those in green, sweeping back to the short side again. Doris trying to bounce through those defenders. Crowley is well, he's brought down, and I wonder if that was an act that the referee might want to have another look at. Argentina, in the meantime, have possession, and it's Pablo Matero who's storming his way onwards. Little dab forwards from Moroni into no man's land, where Keenan is waiting. Doris, Ireland keeping the tempo high, but back in their own half now. Hansen driven back in the tackle. Gonzalez at the forefront of the defensive effort. Crowley, Ringrose to nobody, swept up, and away they go through Delguy into the 22 for the first time. Delguy tries to link. James Lowe got a hand on that. It's loose, and it's dropped on by Matthias Moroni. What a start. 2.5 breathless minutes. Ireland, who seem to have all the aces in the opening minute, have conceded the opening try of the match.
Ollie, unbelievable helter-skelter stuff from both sides, and it was Ireland, a couple of charge downs, had Argentina pinned down in their own half, and then all of a sudden they go up the other end. And maybe have a look at something here, Brian.
Certainly.
With that head on Jack Crowley, wasn't it?
Green team.
Okay.
And it's Moroni's challenge, isn't it?
Right. So we have a formal review.
Yeah, we need to decide if this is foul play.
That's going to be, isn't it? Any head-on-head collision. Okay. Just wonder what his body shape is like.
We've got head-on-head contact. We just need to determine whether or not we have foul play.
That's correct.
It's such a tough one. It is, because he is hinged at the hips, but probably not.
Keep rolling those replays, please, Richard.
Not enough. You'd hope it might only be a penalty.
One replay, mate.
Yeah,
please
I
keep
think
them rolling.
so.
Yes, I'll just get your angles now.
Both hinged, really. Look how low Jack Crowley is, but it is a serious thump to the head, isn't it? Doesn't look good.
Boys a bit foul play.
Well, they're both low, but the point is the tackler has to make sure he's the one that's lower. It's his prerogative.
So, Richard, that there, I believe, is actually bent over, or do you believe he's coming up?
You'll have people sitting screaming at the TV saying, "Oh, it's a rugby incident." You know,
angle, Paul.
It's just a,
okay, thank you.
It's just a little unlucky, but there is an attempt to go for the tackle. It's just he just gets it slightly wrong. His timing slightly wrong.
Right, so it is foul play. It is head on head, so it is going to be a yellow card and an off-field review. Richard. Yeah. Okay, Richard. So camera back to me, please, mate. We have a decision.
Camera's on you.
Okay. So it is going to be a yellow card and off-field review. The tackler is upright and therefore always illegal. So the number was, please, Richard. So blue 12, head-on-head contact. He could have been lower. It's going to be a yellow card and off-field review.
So Matthias Moroni goes to the bin, and the man who moments ago thought he'd opened Argentina's account will spend 10 minutes off the field, and that yellow card will be reviewed in the bunker as to whether it should be escalated or not, Brian.
You get a sense that
I felt he could have been lower.
you hear the referee felt he could have been lower, but is there mitigation in the body height of Jack Crowley and maybe him just popping up? You'd suggest it might remain a yellow card, but you have to have a huge amount of sympathy. These are happening in hundredths of a second. The reaction time is nothing, and that small change of direction is very inhibiting to these new rules. Very understandably, we've got to try and reduce body heights, we've got to try and protect players, but you're going to find those situations still in the game in 5 years' time because of the reaction time at test match level.
Well, we've already gone end to end and back to this end, and Ireland are on the attack, and Kelleher is storming upwards, and he's just inches away from the try line. Gibson Park feeds it out. Once more to the heavies. Porter round the corner.
Last feet.
Crowley darting, scoring! Don't take your eyes off this. 3 minutes, action-packed. Try ruled out at the far end. Moroni in the bin. Crowley on the board for Ireland.
Yeah, it's a sucker punch, isn't it, for Argentina? Thinking they were getting the first score in the game, being called back, yellow card, lovely peel around the corner. Kelleher, what a ball carrier he is, and when he gets motoring, he is very difficult to stop. Nearly gets there. He could have been selfish, reached out for the line, decided not. Wrap around the corner, I think it was Keelan Doris. And then Jack Crowley backs himself to get over the line. What a start to this game. Huge intensity from Ireland, and that's what they needed after last week, Brian.
Well, there's the reaction you want from your 10. Disappointed to be subbed off on the hour mark last week. Felt he didn't do a huge amount wrong. And to get an early score, he's not prolific when it comes to scoring tries. He's only scored the one for Munster in his career thus far. That's his first international try, so it'll give a huge boost of confidence to a player like himself. We talk about taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Well, scoring from 5 out and getting your team a nice solid start to the game is exactly that.
Imposing himself early in Dublin here this evening, Jack Crowley. A lot of chatter in the week about that fly half shirt. Really tricky night for Kieran Frawley, who hasn't made the 23 this evening, and so much excitement surrounding Sam Prendergast, who waits on the bench for his opportunity on debut this evening. Crowley here releasing Keenan, and a little bit wider out they go through Henshaw. Big fend beyond the 10-metre line, or nearly. Gibson Park to Porter, who was tireless in his carrying a week ago against the All Blacks. Van der Fleer, better handling from Ireland. This is slick. This is the Ireland we know. Tygburn to the ground. Doris, little tip on. That hasn't gone to hand, but it's tidied nevertheless by Ringrose. He slipped the net. Gary Ringrose has support. Gibson Park whips it wide. Byrne, inside ball. Hansen. Ireland flying in the early moments here in Dublin. Stung by the criticism. They've scored twice in 6 minutes.
The speed and intensity that Ireland are playing with at the moment, Argentina just cannot match the quality of their ruck possession, even when the ball doesn't go to hand. That breaking ball, and sometimes it's that drop pass when defenses switch off for a fraction of a second. You can't do that. Someone like Ringrose will take advantage. And how often have we seen Gibson Park throw these passes out wide And Tyke Byrne would have gotten in himself, but very unselfishly guaranteed that his winger will be very, very thankful to get in for the second score, and just heaping that momentum, that early pressure on Argentina, exactly as they would have hoped.
And that is a magnificent... No, it isn't. It looked bang on target, but not this time for Crowley. But nevertheless, 12 points to 0 with Matias Moroni in the bin. They have made full use of their extra man, Stephen Ferris.
Absolutely flying. They really are. The ruck speed is there.
Yep.
Gibson Park getting the ball away. I think Jack Crowley probably passed the ball more in the opening 6 minutes of this game than he did in all of last week. But they're humming, aren't they? They're absolutely humming. The intensity that they're playing with is great to see. I really, really wanted Argentina to turn up tonight. I know there's a long time to go in this game, but they have to show a bit more. It's a long way back already, nearly from 12-0 down at home.
Well, they'd have already found a way into the game for two men who perhaps didn't stamp their authority on things a week ago in Jack Crowley and Mark Hansen. Hansen talking in the week about going to hunt the ball. A little bit more action.
No!
More touches, more influence.
Thank you.
First meaningful attack really for the Pumas, if you disregard their disallowed try. Delgi into the 22. Matera, 108th cap tonight. Back from suspension. This is Gajo. Some naughty feet, but this time he's been robbed of the ball, and Ireland back in possession.
They're looking to move it here as well. Oh.
And a drop ball from Ireland.
It was actually Crowley under the sticks that was roaring for the ball. Turnover of possession. Argentina dropped a few numbers into the backfield, leaving themselves a bit vulnerable up front. Crowley identified it and called for it, but never got to him.
On the ground, please. Here's our mark. Blue scrub. I'll get you to sit, Julian.
Felipe Contapone, almost an adopted son of this city. So many years he spent here as a coach with Leinster, and a proud servant to the club as a player, of course, as well. Some great days against the Irish as a player for Argentina. World Cups of 1999 and 2007. Great victories for the Pumas over the men in green.
So we both need to be patient and wait for my call. Yeah?
Scrum time's going to be interesting tonight. Good number of years ago, Argentina were renowned for having a meaty pack, weren't they? Full of absolute beasts in there that give any international side a going over. And then they sort of went away from it a little bit. They've got the cohesion back in there. A good solid 8 unit now.
A number down in the back line, so it's going to have to be pretty basic. Ireland won't be thinking of doing anything other than coming straight up off the line. They don't have to worry about drifting man for man, flying off the line and making sure they hit Sinti, who's lining himself up for a carry.
Oviedo from the base for Argentina. Bertranou gets it away. Big shot coming in on Gonzalez. He's driven back by Tyke Byrne. Ireland full of intent this evening.
Advantage, 12 green, offside.
It's a decision that's gone against Robbie Henshaw, so Argentina with a penalty advantage in their pocket. And that one's gone forwards
12 green, offside.
as Oviedo muscled his way upfield.
12 green, offside.
And at this point, you would expect Argentina to bank some points.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of minutes left on the decision, yellow-red card. We're still unsure as to what the outcome of that is, but this will take a little bit of that.
Okay, they're going to have a shot clock on. Yes, Richard.
I think we're going to learn about the yellow card right now. Paul Williams looking to hear from our TMO, Richard Kelly.
So camera back on me. Yeah, Julian, just while I've got an opportunity, the yellow card is going to remain a yellow card. Low degree of danger. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes.
So Matias Moroni will return imminently, another 80 seconds or so. And in the meantime, Thomas Albornoz lines up a shot at goal.
Oh, have a look. Yeah. Thank you. 20 seconds. Still.
"12 points to 3, Ireland leads, and almost 12 minutes gone."
I think it's a good decision that it stayed a yellow card. I do feel a little bit sorry for Maroney, but we remember what happened. Lavanini, wasn't it? He got red carded back in 2021, and the game sort of just disappeared and was gone for Argentina. So that'll give him a bit of confidence. 3 points on the board and a player to come back on the pitch.
Crowley's restart. Well claimed by Guido Petti, just his second experience. Struggling to make use of this possession though, Argentina. That's going to be Irish ball. The choke tackle affected.
Thank you.
If we get a look at this, James Lowe does a brilliant job here. He comes around, and before anyone engages, he's the first one in. He's entitled. People might think he's offside, but provided no contact is made before he comes in at that angle on the Argentinian side, he's the one that locks it up. It's close because McCarthy comes in almost simultaneously. Referee gives him the benefit of the doubt, but Lowe's upper body strength is able to hold the Argentinian player up and put into Ireland great attacking opportunity for them to launch from. They've been going wide quite a lot this game. They were doing an awful lot in the warm-up. Huge intent around showing their skill set. They didn't get any of that opportunity last week.
Your right foot is all the way back.
A free kick, which James Lowe has overrun, and there's a little bit of a knock-on. Argentina with a knock-on advantage, trying to make the most of it from deep inside their 22. Gaja goes to ground. Albornoz, pressure from Crowley, pressure from Doris. Keenan in the backfield. James Lowe for company. And a couple of big tackles that end that excursion. Trying to make it to the whip. Hansen via Henshaw. Here's Beelum. It's a kind of double shifted a week ago against New Zealand. And here come Ireland again. Ringrose straightening really effectively. Clung onto by Ryan. And Beelum again on the carry.
Good job, well done.
Through the middle of the ruck they go. Popped up off the deck by McCarthy. Here comes Ryan, and Ireland are building all over again. Gibson Park to Crowley. Here's Henshaw, men out wide. Bang! Straightens and drives and drops. With the line almost at his mercy. 2 men onto him. And I think that's gone forwards.
Just looked as though he lost control. The referee's going to have a little look at this one, understandably. He did all the hard work.
Need to make sure that ball has not been knocked on as he crosses the line. So on-field decision try. Just checking the grounding, please.
Okay, on-field decision try, checking grounding.
It's a magnificent pass from Henshaw. It's a 3-on-2. Defender stays in and he whips it right across. And Byrne does all of the hard work. And loses possession.
They're going to be looking for separation from the hand.
Yep. So, thanks, Richard. So clearly we can see the ball has been knocked on as he crosses the line. It's knocked on in goal, so it's going to be a goal line dropout.
You can see.
No try. You
can see Ty Burney's almost just trundling him back. He knew he'd knocked it on. He didn't have control, unfortunately. But I love the variation from Ireland. Getting the width, up the middle, up the guts. Then there's the offload. Big Joe McCarthy to Gibson Park, and they're all just the energy and tempo in their game and the variation is just absolutely unbelievable this evening.
These goal line dropouts, it's something that Ireland have really worked on since the new ruling has come in.
Argentina.
And the guy to keep an eye on is Caelan Doris. No matter where the ball is kicked, he tends to be the player that's fed, and then something happens the next phase, or potentially in two phases. And now Argentina have done their homework, knowing that only too well.
It's rumbling into the midfield, and Doris has got some sort of knee on that. But Matera feeds Albornoz, who goes for distance and territory. He's done well to get it in behind Crowley. And he's full of confidence now. What a difference a week makes. Ireland looking revved up and full of beans. Lovely pickup as well here from Porter. Ball always dropping on him.
Chaser on.
Gibson Park controlling the tempo and looking to control the middle third of the field. Hansen goes up, it's gone forwards as he looks to release it.
It's unlucky, it's good competition in the air. Mac Hansen, Jack Crowley, he had to turn, get that ball back.
Okay, so it's a penalty.
Here's another look at the try that wasn't.
Okay, boys, time off. Yeah, Richard. So just looking at potential foul play back here at the last ruck.
Going to show you a croc roll by 3 green.
Okay.
That's Finlay
Right, so
Bealham.
looking at a potential croc roll by 3 green back here at the last ruck. Yep. So
That's not a good start point. Although he doesn't have him round the neck, it's an awkward clear out.
With the leg as well, Richard?
That's really being outlawed these days. I think you could easily see a yellow card coming, even though the player gets away with it. The intent is there around what he's trying to do.
It's a yellow card in off-field review. Yeah. Can we just get that in full speed as well, please, Richard? Just to check the severity of it. And it was 3 green, wasn't it?
Yes, it's 3 green.
Yeah.
Here's your full speed.
Okay. 3 green there. The twist and pull. So, yep, camera back to me, please, mate. So 3 green. It is a clear croc roll. It's dangerous. It's going to be a yellow card. Off-field review. 3.
Finlay Bealham to the bin. It's Ireland's turn to go down to 14.
Yeah.
And a very eventful 16.5 minutes. 2 tries from the Irish, a try each chalked off, and 2 yellow cards already.
Yeah, Finlay Bealham's had an eventful couple of weeks, hasn't he? 78 minutes last week against New Zealand and having to back it up again this week.
Put time back on.
But
Well,
yeah, you totally
the rest
understand.
here.
Brian, years ago you were almost taught how to do the old tin opener back in the day to get people away from the breakdown, but it's great that now it's stamped out. Safety first, of course.
We've seen so many serious injuries, so many knee injuries, lower limb injuries, and
Okay, so we are having a shot, so shot clock on, please.
it's taken a while to get here, but realizing the severity of some of those has brought World Rugby in and changed the profile or capacity to clear rucks that way. You cannot use your body weight, you cannot roll as in the motion that you would see a crocodile doing.
Just hold feet there.
Thomas Albornoz, who's been the man at fly half for a good part of this year for Argentina. Santi Carreras, of course, the man in possession before that. And a big old haul against the Italians last week.
20 seconds.
Lining up his second shot. Through she goes, and Argentina cut the deficit to a half dozen.
He's deadly, isn't he, with the boot? Any opportunity presents itself, he'll knock between the sticks in Ireland's discipline. And last week it was a big concern. I'm sure it was talked about in numerous meetings during the week with Andy Farrell and the rest of the coaching staff. And just a little bit of inaccuracy around the breakdown by Finlay Bealham, and he's cost his team 3 points.
Time for the Pumas to try to make sure that they can make the most of this numerical advantage. They've dug in through the course of this season, the best ever rugby championship campaign for them this season.
Okay, so inside of 22.
Wins over South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, all in the calendar year, not something that's done very often. Ireland have done it a couple of times. The England side of 2003 did it back in the day.
Chase her on. Step back.
Up she goes from Bertrand. Nobody seems to want it. Gibson Park watching. Van der Fleer. Ryan.
Easy. Just a penalty. Just a penalty. Just be careful with their tackles, please, men.
Just legs over the horizontal.
Just a penalty, little lift. Just be more careful, please.
Responsibility is on the tackler to safely bring the tackle player to the ground. You see the legs above the horizontal.
Okay.
That's going to be a tell for the referee to get his whistle out.
Again, it's two players there, isn't it?
Two players and a whole lot of momentum.
Yeah, for sure. But Crowley taking the initiative here, driving his team into the corner. Feel the atmosphere build now, the noise picking up.
Straight over to the pack as well, Crowley. You wanted to see a commanding performance, Brian, from Jack Crowley. He seems to be more vocal, let alone more visible here this evening.
Yeah, and barking orders, and I think you've seen Ireland in the past. They've gone to the court. I don't think we should expect Crowley to get much possession for a few phases here. They've got to back their capacity to be able to maul. We've got to catch the line out first.
Yeah, Doris has lost it. Gibson Park's got a bit of work on here. Henshaw too. Ryan brought to ground by Rubiolo. This young Newcastle Falcons lock. Kelleher, little show of the ball, buffeted in the tackle. Kelleher again, Crowley, quick hands, Porter. Much crisper in the transfer tonight. Too many drop balls, too many wobbly passes against the All Blacks. Crowley shaping up for the drop goal. It's high, and he likes it. Jack Crowley transformed this evening, bossing it at the Aviva.
He sure is. I'm sure there's a few people down in Cork watching the match tonight, sitting, hoping their man had a good game, and he's having a blinder so far, isn't he?
Okay. Argentina 1.
Fantastic drop goal. Keeps the scoreboard ticking, doesn't it?
And yes, Richard.
It looks like a head injury assessment for the Pumas loose head, Thomas Gajo.
The yellow card. The yellow card will remain a yellow card and not a high degree of danger. It will stay a yellow card and not a high degree of danger.
So relief for Ireland, relief for Finlay Bealham, and another 5 minutes to serve on the naughty step.
Okay, guys,
Just on the drop goal, you can always tell the first person to look at after drop goal is not the crowd, it's the guy who's kicked it, and immediately he turned and started running back to his own half.
Henshaw happy to grapple with Delguy.
Use it! Two!
And an excellent clearance, giving Ireland a little bit of breathing space, just as they have on the scoreboard as well. 15 points to 6. Ignacio Cajas, by the way, has come on for Thomas Gajo on the loose head for Argentina in the meantime for the head injury assessment. And Montoya is also being removed. This is a blood replacement, we understand. Ignacio Ruiz wearing 16. Argentina won't want to be without Montoya for long. Such an inspiration. So much the heartbeat, let alone the leadership skills that he brings. Ruiz finds Petty, and good line-out ball here for Argentina to work with. Bertrand swiftly away. Gonzalez is held. And the ball spits out. Van der Vlier's onto it.
Brilliant from low. He got in immediately. He shut the gate and then got himself into a great jackal position. First player in. That's why he had access to it.
Byrne has to deal with the formidable presence of Rubiolo in front of him, but this is heading aerial. Isgro waits. Good challenge that, and Isgro has it. Offloads nicely. Bertranou cut down by Gibson Park. How good defensively was he a week ago? Covering sort of everywhere. This one's been dropped by Gonzalez, and Ireland will take the scrum just beyond halfway.
Huge pressure from Ireland at the breakdown. It was James Lowe with the first one, getting over, ball spills out, off goes Josh van der Vlier. And then again, just little counter rucks, getting stuck into the Argentinian forwards. As we see a man, Ali, coming on. This is a big moment for him. Huge, huge moment.
Thomas Clarkson, a debut on account of Finlay Bealham in the sin bin. It's time for the 24-year-old Leinsterman. No Tom O'Toole, injured last week against the All Blacks, and Van der Vlier is the man they've sacrificed in the meantime. Just 3 minutes to navigate without Finlay Bealham, so it might be a short-lived arrangement at the outset for Clarkson, and nobody quite knows the future for Thomas Clarkson in an Ireland shirt. Early days, big promise, huge man, but these are the sorts of tests he won't have faced, Brian.
Don't come much bigger than the Argentinian front row. You know, he would have gotten himself mentally right over the course of the week, the knowledge that he was going to get some game time. Maybe the expectation wasn't to be this early. He'll have to wait.
A free kick which enables Ireland to try to launch, and Porter is summarily dealt with this time.
Hold in front there, boys.
Crowley to the air, Mac Hansen eyes heavenward. Keenan has it.
Play on, guys.
McCarthy.
You've got it front.
And some obstruction.
Ball down. 2 has gone in front. Create the obstruction.
It's just lacking a little bit of communication, Brian, isn't it? That he's on his shoulder just to give him the ball. Let him come on to it harder, or get on the latch and give him a bit of momentum going forward.
When you have that option, you know, to carry the ball to be tipped inside or the one outside, it's so hard for that outside runner to stop their line. And as soon as you realize that you're going to carry, you've got to keep square yourself to make sure you don't double in behind that runner, as happened on that occasion.
A shot is called from Thomas Albornoz.
I think they're waiting on you, so I'd like to see you guys just a little bit more urgent around that setup.
Mildly furrowed brow of Felipe Contepomi, knowing that they've had the extra man over the last 9 minutes. And actually, they've conceded the points through the Crowley drop goal. .40 metres out on the angle, no problem. And Argentina stay in touch. 15 points to 9 now, and just a handful of seconds remaining before Finlay Bealham returns for Ireland.
Ireland need to be very careful. We saw what happened last week. Damien McKenzie kept the scoreboard ticking over. They were trying to thwart the opposition. They gave away some penalties that needed, but some real needless penalties. Got to have a bit more discipline. It's been a real hallmark of this Ireland team over the last, not just the Andy Farrell cycle, but before, with Joe Schmidt, being miserly with their discipline, not giving away more than 7 or 8 penalties. That's a few now, and the problem is they've all been kickable.
Oh, brilliantly claimed. Inside the 22 go Ireland. Big muscular challenge from Ruiz, but it's there for Gibson Park. Fast ball to feed Tadhg Beirne.
No!
Kelleher shapes to pass to Doris, takes the contact instead. Crowley to the line. Henshaw attacks that space. Porter slips through that first challenge of Cassius. Hansen, Henshaw again. McCarthy. Keenan into the midfield through Kelleher. Setting up this field position, which Lowe is trying to exploit now. Argentina folding back round into their defensive stations. Oh, a big shot coming in to stem the flow. Ringrose now. Henshaw again. And Gibson Park is played before having lifted the ball. And Argentina give up the penalty. Just a little bit of overexcitement from Rodrigo Isgro.
Yeah, it's a trait in their game, isn't it? Just those silly penalties so far tonight, and probably over the last number of games, they're guilty of it. When they're in full control, you got to look at the defense. Real discipline, structure's good, getting off the line, making big dominant tackles, and then all of a sudden, just a silly one over the top of the rock, and rather into big pressure once again.
Well, Crowley whacks it into, well, deep inside the 22, and Philly Beelum is back.
Yeah, we're getting a bit of a Viva roar finally. I think the big difference, you're looking at what's the big difference between this week and last week. Well, right now, 75% of the rucks are under 3 seconds. Hasn't been without handling errors, there's been a few of them, but it's their speed at ruck. No defensive system can cope with that many rucks under 3 seconds. The ball away.
James Ryan secures the ball, and Kelleher is poised. In comes Lowe, amongst others, to assist. It's still with Kelleher. Gibson Park wants Crowley a little tighter to him. Ringrose from a standing start. Doris now.
No.
Kelleher. Patient this from Ireland. Quietly through the phases, waiting for those holes, waiting for the moment potentially to go wide. Byrne is on the carry again, and there's some heavyweight defending here from the Pumas. Van der Fleer tries to barge his way through. They're stopped 5 meters short once again.
Not now, not now.
Crowley. Ringrose. Nearly fooled everyone. Doris arriving late. Kept himself hidden for a while. Makes an extra metre or two. Pumas, though, all over it. And the ball is theirs. They're being driven back towards their try line, but crucially, Argentina have the ball.
Use it!
Some heroic defending over the last couple of minutes from Argentina. And they may just have dug themselves out of this hole. Bertranou wants it.
Trying to create a slightly better kicking angle. We're going to be able to relieve much pressure, albeit it's not the longest of exits, but better than being a couple of meters from the touchline. A little bit of respite for now.
It came out the side. Not for me, not for me.
It does feel like that was a bit of a win for Argentina. The ball spun out of the side of the rock once more, but resilient defense from the Pumas.
Julian Montoya will return imminently. In the meantime, business to attend to on the defensive front for Argentina yet again. Kelleher to the tail, brilliantly claimed by Ryan. Gibson Park to Henshaw, here's Lowe! Whip wide, through they go! McCarthy has it! 3 for Ireland, and the pressure tells.
I think it was McCarthy just on the back left. It was a lovely ball to the tail of the line out, and almost looked like there was a little confusion. He turned round and all of a sudden he was at the back jumper, but he gets him up in the air. well secured, and then a lovely little play, Brian, to get James Lowe through a hole.
Oh, it's brilliant from Henshaw, running with that level of intent, but still being able to get the offload away. Fixes the inside defender because he thinks he's carrying, and the job was half done with that level of momentum. And then when you've got a ball carrier like Joe McCarthy coming from a couple of meters out, it's going to be almost impossible to stop a player of that capacity. Really, really easy, simple try for Ireland, but very, very well worked with good skill level at key moments, particularly from Henshaw.
Crowley converts. McCarthy's second try for Ireland. A little bit of momentum, nice timing. And eventually Argentina couldn't hold out. 22 points to 9. 33 minutes gone. And Ireland get a grip on proceedings as we bear down on half-time. Julian Montoya restored to the Argentine lineup. Head bandaged. And Gibson Park, caught in possession, and good timing.
Cracking timing. We can hear the referee counting them down. And just before one, he gets absolutely nailed here. That's a brilliant tackle, didn't he? Dislodging the ball there.
Yours was too far. What are we doing here?
Yeah, you can see him looking at the referee, getting the thumbs up from him to go in and make that hit. And it's one of these games, as soon as Ireland score, they give possession back, and as soon as Argentina score, they give possession back. Just a couple of mistakes they need to tidy up.
Not too often you see Gibson Park caught, but Julian Montoya has been around the block far too long to miss out on those sort of opportunities. Joint third on the Argentine caps list tonight, equaling Nicolas Sanchez today. Only Cravey and Matera ahead of him on that list.
Hold there!
A little bit of a nudge on from Ireland, but Argentina with possession and driving through the middle through Sinti. And the ball has gone loose, and Ireland have it, and Hansen thinks that the counter-attack might be on. Ringrose to Keenan to Lowe, and off the outside edge of the boots.
Wanted to keep that one in field of play. Brilliant turnover. Initially a good hit from Henshaw, but look at this from Josh van der Fleer. Just grabs the hand of Sinti and uses his momentum as he's been cleared off. He just gets one scraping hand in there.
I did call use it, then I gave you 2 seconds as well.
It's an art form, such a difficult skill when you're being smashed out of a ruck to still stay in the fight.
Just enough. One of those mechanical diggers getting over the top. Can Argentina conjure here? Less than 5 minutes to half-time. Bertranu to the short side, and Isgro hurdling defenders and bodies up to the 22. Rubiolo. Gajo restored on the loose head.
Pick and jam is on here. They're not thinking about going anywhere. All 7 or 8 forwards are in and around the ruck, just trying to keep Ireland honest in around that pillar defence.
Matera felt that one. McCarthy and friends barreling him backwards. What a score for the Pumas would do for their morale at this point. And there are 1 or 2 little holes right around the middle of the ruck.
Just trying to get Ireland the honey pot in around the breakdown. We're on the back foot every tackle that they're making. They're losing a couple of yards, and there goes the penalty advantage.
Oviedo's drive providing them with an advantage. Since he goes to ground, the ball is lost again, and back we come.
It's an important tackle from Ringrose. It looked like Sinti was going to get the offload away, but because he got him by the ankles and got him to deck, he couldn't squeeze it away to the oncoming support player. Penalty advantage, but it could have been more for Argentina.
So decision time here. They're going to try and ride this wave of momentum, Argentina. They turned down the opportunity of 3 points. Albornoz sizing up the corner.
I think they have to. Pivotal moment, 37 minutes on the clock.
Rose just gets him right around the ankles, and just as he's looking to get that offload away, he does enough to force him to lose possession.
He's the defensive leader though, Brian, isn't he? When he's leading the line, making the big hits, the dominant tackles, being vocal. Is he the leader in the team when it comes to defense?
I think the big thing as well that he does so well is, and you have to, with your centre, you've got to share the workload. The amount of times that they get the split, ideally you want a centre on each side after the first phase, and how often he's the guy that goes to the far end. That's the difficult one. That's where I used to get Gordon Darcy to do it as much as I possibly could, particularly in my later years. But he's the guy that always puts his hand up, responsible for that extra workload, an incredible engine, but not much bigger than that guy either. Robbie Henshaw hasn't played a huge amount of rugby this year, but consistently so good in the blue of Leinster and in Ireland green, as has that guy been. As is that guy. Great to have 3 centres of that quality competing for 2 spots.
Embarrassment of riches. Argentina though with line-out ball, and Montoya looking for the options here, trying to barrel his way through, trying to bounce off low. Couple of minutes to go in this first half, and you really feel the Pumas need something here. They had to soak up an awful lot to this point. Montoya with the clear out. Argentina still believing here. Tight they come with another penalty advantage. Another drive from Matera. Montoya, little pop pass. Gonzalez is held. Byrne is folding his body underneath him, and it's held up.
We're back for the offside, but it's brilliant defence from Ireland. And it's something we're seeing a little bit more of in the game, is dragging them back across the line. If it had been stopped short, you would have been sure that Argentina would have picked and gone, especially with that penalty advantage. But brilliant D to get them out of jail on this occasion.
So from 5 metres out, they'll take another line out. Backing their line out drive, backing their maul. Ty Byrne doing a great job underneath all of that.
Let's go. Numbers, guys. 7.
Crucial moments these for Argentina, you feel. His delivery is strong. The gather is good from Gonzalez. And he slid the ball away. Ireland have infringed again. Bertranou. Moroni, it's busy in that midfield. Albornoz gets the ball away. Now the bounce. Where's it going? Everywhere but the players. And Keenan knocks it on in the in goal. There'll be a penalty to Argentina anyway. I just wonder if these are beginning to stack up against the Irish, whether there's a question of Paul Williams losing his patience.
Yeah, a bit of pinball there with that kick over the top. We're going to see it. I think that was...
had 3 penalties down here, 2 against yourself. Next one goes to the bin.
I think it was Ty Byrne jumping across the line. The lift wasn't quite there in the defensive line out. And it's actually quite sneaky, because as soon as he lands over there, the Argentina can't get them all set. We just see him, the lifters just let him go. Look at Finlay Bealham, just lets him go and wants to get straight into the maul defence. And because of that, they can't get their maul set, and that's a penalty that is cheap enough from Ty Byrne.
Does he know what he's doing there?
Oh, I think he does, yeah. Okay, I've lost the ball in the air. Let's just jump over in here and cause a bit of havoc.
He can't blame his tight head now. Actually, you shouldn't have fired me across like that. What can I do?
Tap and go this time from Argentina. Clock in the red at the end of this first half. Trying to get some width on it, but that's a fantastic tackle that's come in, I think, from Henshaw. Oviedo off on his own. He could do with some support. He's got within 5. Rubiolo waits. Time for the Irish defence to muscle up. They're making life difficult here, at the very least. Oviedo again on the carry. Doris scavenging hard, and the ball has been dislodged, and Ringrose whips it away. And here's James Ryan for Ireland, holding out with the clock in the red, and Ireland will go to the break, leading by 22 points to 9. Another fabulous defensive set. Jack Crowley has produced some of his very best rugby. He scored the first, Mac Hansen the second, Joe McCarthy the third. Argentina yet to score in terms of tries, just 3 penalties from Thomas.
So much, what a battle, what a circuit as well. 22-9 Ireland lead against Argentina. Austin, we know the Argentinians are a good rugby team. We're not seeing it yet. What do they have to do?
Well, first of all, they need field position. They need to look after the ball. They were a little bit one-dimensional through the forwards. We haven't seen anything from their back line, and they need some turnovers because they need transition. Big off.
It's a huge half. Ireland looking very, very comfortable after the defeat against the All Blacks last week, where they were a bit wobbly. They seem to have sorted things out. And what a half for the young ad half, Jack Crowley. Will he keep it going? Let's find out in the company of Brian O'Driscoll, Stephen Ferris, and of course, Ali Egan.
So Ireland's in the process of convincing their fans that last week was just a blip, a bad day at the office. It was lacking fire, it was lacking discipline, it was lacking execution. They've certainly got 2 of the 3 this evening. Maybe the discipline is something that will have been reinforced at half-time. And they will know that Argentina have this tendency to come good in second halves. They have some big second 40-minute performances in them. Let's not forget, this is a side that's beaten New Zealand away from home twice. They're not making up the numbers on the big stage these days. They are serious contenders, and we can expect something, because really they haven't fired a meaningful shot yet.
I'm not sure they've been allowed, but they'll be very frustrated with that half. Discipline from both sides. That'll have been a talking point with both coaches, making sure you reduce the penalty count. And certainly from Ireland's point of view, the error count on handling, much better intent, lines of running, clarity of what they're trying to do, but still just a little bit clunky at times to be ironed out in the next 40 minutes.
Very evident that Ireland are very happy to kick the ball off the pitch. And an awesome kick it was as well from Gibson Park, but we've seen that multiple times in the first half. Try and go after them at set piece.
That ball secured by Gonzalez into the middle. This impressive Irish defence has proved very tricky to penetrate this evening. That is not the best of Bertranu's kicking. And here's Matera. Drew the man very effectively there. Albornoz moves up to halfway. Bertranu throws the dummy, and Porter clings on. Montoya punch backwards in the challenge. Little run here from Skelso. Albornoz. Look a little bit more purposeful here. Malia is caught. And that press again from Ringrose proving very difficult for Argentina. Delguy working the feet. Wide they go from Cinti to Iskro. Montoya popping up everywhere. Once more the dummy. And once more the tackle from Van der Fleer. These are hard yards for Argentina. A lot of phases and not a great deal of progress. Malia feeds it onwards. Cinti to Moroni. Skelso again. Kelleher there. So too Doris. Matera. Good work from Petty. But Ireland are there, and Ireland have stolen the ball, but not before they've gone beyond the ball in the challenge on the deck.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones, like a split second. James Ryan penalised. As soon as that knee touches the ground, you have to let go of the ball carrier. You can just see him here, Jack Crowley, and he reefs it back. And half a second earlier, that's a brilliant play by James Ryan.
The Argentinians just changing tack a little bit, trying to go wide, weren't going anywhere. They tried a blind side, looked as though they'd gotten a little bit of access down there, but they forced themselves a penalty and haven't had too many launch opportunities from inside the Ireland 22. Need to make sure of securing possession first of all.
Over 15.
Well, they flopped the lines at the line out, and Hansen has it for Ireland.
Okay, knock on in the line out.
Playing with a knock-on advantage as well here, the Irish. Crowley to the boots. And Delguy can only watch. Once again, Ireland coming up trumps defensively.
Magnificent exit play that, just set up brilliantly from Crowley, who was given so much time, but then the execution of the kick right into the opposition half, only followed up with a brilliant chase from Keenan to stop the quick line out as well. All the energy and accuracy that you would hope for after a 10-minute break at half-time.
To the front they go, to Rubiolo. Oviedo. Argentina just need a little moment, a little flash from someone, somewhere to spark them tonight, you feel.
Holding in front, Argentina. Sorry. Good access.
Up goes Keenan. Isgro doing enough for Argentina.
Knock-on advantage only.
Skelso trying to run through Van der Fleer. Bertranu has just opened up a tiny bit here as Albornoz comes steaming through, and Malia breaks clear and steps Hansen and goes all the way. Stellar from Juan Cruz Malia. They're looking for a spark. They found it in their fullback.
What a step. Malia coming onto the ball at pace. A little weak tackling by Ireland. They will not be happy that he's been able to get through that defence, especially when they had them on the 10-metre line. But resilience shown, the ball retention, just holding on to it. And look at the little late, brilliant line, slip off tackle. And what about that for a step to finish it off? Superb stuff. And we have a game back on here at the Aviva Stadium.
You wouldn't know he played for Toulouse, would you, Brian?
It's magical footwork, it really is. As much as you might critique some slightly inept tackling, he didn't really give too much of an opportunity, certainly to Mac Hansen, to make any sort of contribution because of that chop step. We've seen it so often in the Champions Cup, the balance. Absolutely delightful, and acceleration as well. His favourite position at 15, he used to play on the wing an awful lot in the colours of Toulouse, but he's been the go-to guy with Felipe Contaboni and the latter years of Michael Checa as well at 15, and you can understand why that broken field capacity is magnificent to watch.
Game on, 22-16. Argentina feeling it in a way that they weren't perhaps in that first 40 minutes, and a change at 9. Gonzalo Garcia is on for Gonzalo Bertranu. Ireland have overrun that. Gibson Park taps it back for Lowe. Big challenge on the 10-metre line, and perhaps a little on the high side from Petty, but referee Paul Williams happy enough. Crowley, cross-field kick, looking to pick out Ringrose, he's given it too much.
And this is what happens. This is what happens when you get put under the pump. You give away a score like that. Just want to hold on to possession, maybe pin the corner. He goes for the cross-field kick, and it was probably, what, 7 or 8 metres too long. Hands possession back to Argentina, who are licking their lips now at this opportunity around the halfway line. It's amazing, isn't it? Pressure, it just brings in these couple of little mistakes from Ireland. The crowd here in the Aviva Stadium getting a bit edgy now as well.
That edginess is back. The edginess that we felt at the start of the game. Oviedo on the carry.
Hold on.
Garcia to the air.
Yeah, good access.
Hansen getting up well. Keenan, though, having to deal with two defenders on him.
Knock on.
Van der Fleer with a knock-on advantage. Ringrose
Okay.
steps and drives.
Over for the knock-on release now.
Different sort of kick, that one from Gibson Park, but it's ended up with Malia, the danger man.
Push off the ball,
Certainly not his
Green.
best kick. Right down the throat of the full-back.
Wait.
There's been a push off the ball as well by the Irish.
Push off the ball.
Penalty count totting up, but it was kind of a nothing kick. It was
Advantage over.
not there
I called it
to be
clearly.
competed, easy to gather, no pressure properly on him, and then to compound a poor decision, poor kick, an error from low. Again, just more opportunity for Argentina to build on their confidence, and you can sense it. You can see it in their body language, in their belief in the quality of their play in the last 5 or 6 minutes. It's just starting to elevate. Ireland have to weather this storm.
I'll get you the numbers.
It's inevitable purple patch with the best sides will never go quietly.
You've played against them many times, guys. They're a team that feeds off emotion, feed off momentum like this.
Huge emotional side. You can see it in their national anthem as they build a maul here, breakaway.
Bursting forwards, Moroni inside the Ireland 22. Garcia back the other way, they come. Albornoz beginning to pull the strings here for Argentina. Another penalty.
I think there's going to be a yellow card as well.
Oviedo for Sclavi. Garcia injecting a bit of impetus here as well, having come off the bench at scrum half. Whips it away again. Oviedo still with the penalty advantage here, Argentina. Albornoz half through the tackle from Van der Fleer.
Just going back and forward, guys. 4 green. 4 green.
That's Joe McCarthy.
Where's 4?
He's gone to his pocket.
4.
Sure has.
It's a
4.
yellow card.
Clearly offside. You run a penalty warning advantage. He goes.
So cumulatively, Ireland paying and McCarthy to the bin. They're down to 14 again.
You have to say that's good refereeing. You know, if
Julian,
you,
decision.
so often referees will give a
Taking
team
shot,
another
goal, shot
warning,
clock on.
but continual infringements, what is that, 9 penalties now from Ireland. A number of them have been for offside, particularly when the momentum of the opposition is really coming at them, never gets onside. It doesn't impact the play, but it stops them potentially from coming that open side, and very difficult to argue with it.
I think when there's a half-time break and you come out and you give away a penalty or two, you know, the ones before half-time are almost quickly forgotten about a lot of the fans and a lot of people sitting watching, but there was a build-up of, what, 3 or 4 penalties just on the 38-39 mark, and there was a feeling that Ireland were maybe going to get a yellow card at that stage, so I totally agree, Brian. Brilliant refereeing there. Good consistency. Got that absolutely bang on.
He hasn't missed from the tee tonight, Albornoz. And all of a sudden, this is a 3-point game, and Ireland jittery.
We know that Argentina were a second-half team, scored so many of their points in the Rugby Championship in that second half. Super fit side, can have the bench to unload for when those tired bodies on the hour mark have emptied the tank.
Felipe Contapome going to his bench quite early. Francisco Gomez Cordella on at tight head for Joel Sclavi, and Franco Molina in at lock for Guido Petti. Three of the 8 replacements deployed already with half an hour to play.
Deep pass. Holding wise. Thank you, hold on. Inside 50.
Jack Crowley. Held by Gonzalez. Hansen. Oh dear, that's really, really loose.
It's really loose from Mark Hansen. We know he hasn't played a lot of rugby this season for Connacht. Didn't get many opportunities last week against New Zealand. Just errors, more errors creeping into the game as we see Thomas Clarkson coming back on, Ali. This is a big moment for him. His team are on the rack.
Get to see that scrummage opportunity, no doubt, in a few minutes' time. Line out first, basics. Maul defence is what is in the forefront of Clarkson's mind. Have a good initial moment, add value to your forward pack.
Still moving, no. Time to go. No. Use it now.
Garcia has it. And Delguy sets off in hot pursuit. Hansen, though, does really well. Eager to make amends for flinging that ball into touch at some height.
2.
Albornoz, Crowley, was that early?
Yeah, okay, advantage.
It was.
Early.
Had to let the man hit the deck first, and the timing was just fractionally off from Jack Crowley. Penalty count now in double figures.
Yeah, feels like a few of those nightmares from the second half, 40 minutes last week are coming back again.
10 green.
Oh, he's just a second out, isn't he?
Wait for feet to come down,
Wants to smash Albornoz. He doesn't get it right. The timing just slightly off. But another opportunity. Felipe Contapomi. He's up in arms in there, Brian, isn't he?
Understandably, if you look at Ireland discipline, obviously number of penalties, there's been 9 yellow cards this season. Before that, they've gone a 12-game run without a yellow card, so it's definitely something that's impacting them. They've lost 3 of the last 5 games. They only lost 3 games in 35 before that, so it's definitely an aspect that really needs sharpening.
Lovely line-out ball, and here come the Pumas through Albornoz inside the 22 with their tails up. Probing that inside channel, Delguy. Montosha, tireless. Terra, caught. And the ball is there to be won for a brief moment. Doris thought he had it. Garcia's had to drop on it. It's a scrappy possession for Argentina, but they have it nevertheless. 15 metres out from the try line. Matera. Whipped away for the drop goal. And Albornoz pushes it wide.
It's a bad miss. It's a bad miss, and he knows it because he had plenty of time. He's been so accurate from the tee. Gets right into the pocket, into a great slot, and just slides off his boot. It's not a good drop. You see the point of where the ball bounces as it hits the ground. It comes out to the left-hand side, and it's going to impact the rotation of the ball as soon as you make contact.
Let's go.
He wasn't under much pressure either, was he? The Ireland defence were around the breakdown, more worried about what pick and jam was coming next. You see Pablo Matera down. He's been fantastic this game. He's like a dump truck every time he carries the ball.
Malia, charged down by Lowe. Van der Fleer. As the fields of Athenry ring around the Aviva Stadium. Time for Ireland to step it up, maybe through Ringrose here. Safely taken by Albornoz. Had to watch that very carefully.
Very good coverage from the 10 in the backfield. It wasn't an easy one. It was coming over his shoulder. Actually, as Crowley made contact with it, looked like a really good kick, but he made it look very, very easy, albeit hasn't followed up with his cleanest of strikes.
Just a couple of little wobbles from Thomas Albornoz as we see the arrival on the field of Santi Carreras. Man of Gloucester, of course, who has magic in his feet and in his hands. Real game-changing capacity. And it looks like Rodrigo Isgro is the man to make way for him. That prompts a change. I assume Malia will go to the wing now, and Carreras will play at fullback. He's missed everybody and gobbled up hungrily by Montoya. Albornoz, Matera, locks flowing, banged over. Huge shot from Ringrose. Opportunity here for Ireland through Van der Fleer. Leaves it there for Keenan, somehow keeps it infield. Lowe is smashed in the tackle, and Argentina are on the scramble.
Knocked on, we're going back here. Knock on by Green, you say, mate?
Oh, it's getting scrappy. Matera with the little off-road. Boom, look at that for a hit from Ringrose. Quality. But they're giving that knock on, I think, Brian, is it to Argentina?
Put into Ireland by the looks of things in the collision. Not sure who the ball carrier was at Sinti. What a big shot. We saw a big one against Rico Ione last week. It got the crowd going. Ireland needs some more of that, change that momentum. It just feels as though they've gotten a little bit static, a little bit stale in their energy, their momentum. They need something to work as a catalyst, and those moments are key.
New man on the field, Justo Picardo, who's making his debut at the age of 22. Plays his rugby in Argentina, and it's Lucio Sinti who's going to be coming off in his place.
He's been impressive in the centre for Argentina. Really has, leading by example with ball on hand and on defence. Quality operator in the middle of the park.
Hold there! Let's go.
Crowley using Lowe, and Keenan fighting through contact. Fast ball from the ruck. Lowe dribbles it infield, and Malia sorts it out for Argentina.
Excellent defence from Argentina, and particularly Delgui, the left winger. Such a difficult decision to make, whether to go front door or back door. He sees and allows Gary Ringrose to go, albeit he doesn't hold on to his man. He does enough to stop him, push him back inside. The threat was going to be outside, but again, fraction of a second decision. Really good from the Argentinian winger.
I think Malia was suggesting that it might have been touched in flight by a flying Hansen, but regardless, it's Irish ball on the 10-metre line, and Van der Fleer is through the gain line. And Ireland are on that front foot, trying to move through the gears. Crowley to the boots and to touch.
That's okay. That's okay by Ireland. Just getting around the corner. Nice carry up the guts from George Van der Fleer in the middle of the park, who has worked so hard today and last week, really putting it in. A little nudge by Crowley just to turn them again, turn the big pack. The replacements coming on for Argentina, turn them around, make them suck a little bit more oxygen in. Their own 22.
Joe McCarthy back with us, so Ireland restored to 15. They've conceded just the 3 points through the boots of Thomas Albornoz, who's giving that as much as he can. James Lowe from the 10-metre line, sauntering forwards, searching for space, and finding only Matera. Keenan held in the midfield. Crowley, change of plan.
No hands.
Ryan, big old carry.
Ball's there, and you pinned him in.
Tyburn coming racing through. Gibson Park is going to pressurise the back three. And it's gone forwards from Ireland in the 22. And Argentina breathe again.
Oh, it was very, very close for Robbie Henshaw. It's actually a really good kick from Gibson Park. As we see it, a big moment in this man's young life coming on the field.
Sam Prendergast making his debut for Ireland at the age of 21. He's going to be replacing Jack Crowley, who's had a terrific night for the most part. 12 points in the opening 40 minutes. And an awful lot of hope pinned on this man. Just 20 appearances for Leinster, 8 starts. But a man for the big occasion, and a man, Brian, blessed with many talents.
Very, very talented natural footballer. Squares up to the line so well. Understands how to create space, how to hold the pass to the last second. I suppose the one query would be about his frame. Is he yet ready for Test match rugby? We're going to find out in the next 18 minutes, but there's no doubt he has a bucket load of talent. And when he gets organising his team, when he gets bossing his side, he starts calling the right plays. He has the skill set to be able to unlock defences at club level. Now he just has to do it in the green jersey.
I'm saying this is a compliment, but he just looks like a young guy that's finished his leaving cert, doesn't he? Fresh-faced. There's a lot of pressure tonight to try and close this game out for Ireland.
Big scrum from the Irish, but it's Argentina's penalty. Thomas Clarkson just inquiring about the validity of that. And tempers flaring.
Yeah, just a little bit. It felt like a lot of the pressure was coming from the loose head side of Ireland there, sort of crabbing across. Andrew Porter under a little bit of pressure, but it's good from Argentina. Just when you needed something to happen, something to go your way, a little scrum penalty is always going to be good. And a nice nudge to touch as well, Ali.
Argentina move back inside Irish territory as we see the arrival of Rob Herring at hooker for Ronan Kelleher. And the Irish have moved Ryan Baird off the bench. He's into the back row, and they push Tyburn into lock alongside Joe McCarthy.
I think that's a big decision. Kelleher's starts weren't particularly great tonight, but Rob Herring, 21 minutes of rugby all season long. Difficult to get yourself into Test match intensity, isn't it, Bran?
Garcia, Delguy finding a way through, getting a lovely offload away as well. Moroni to the 22. Garcia again, quick ball for the Argentines. This the sort of ruck possession they feed off, trying to keep those rucks to less than 3 seconds. That seems to be the critical time. Gomez Cordella goes to ground. Albornoz pirouettes through the challenge, and Mali is in trouble here. It's gone forwards, and Ireland are back in possession.
Yeah, really important from Clarkson coming through. Thought for a second that he was in the Leinster defensive system, that blitz system that we see. Comes shooting through the line, reads Albornoz, doesn't get a full shot on him, but he does enough to stop him getting that ball away. That'll go down as a win. It might go down on the stat sheet as a missed tackle, but from a system point of view, it's been very, very effective.
Well, it's the pressurising element, isn't it? It's the scare tactics, as we see Thomas Albornoz receiving a little bit of treatment, and it looks like Ireland are losing a man as well, Stephen.
Yeah, it's Ryan Baird after the shuffle of him coming onto the pitch and playing in the back row, as you referenced there. Really disappointing for him. He wants to come on and make an impact, and there was so much talk about the bench before the New Zealand game. Could they come on and make an impact? And they showed last week that they couldn't. This Irish bench tonight, they have to make an impact. They have to get a bit of momentum for their team in this game. They've done it for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Can they do it tonight? It's only a couple of points in the game.
Poor old Ryan Baird has had, what, 2 or 3 minutes. And now Peter O'Mahony's on 109th cap.
Not too big, not too big. Let's go, I'm happy with that, let's go. Wind up.
It's a head injury assessment for Baird.
On you now.
So O'Mahony onto the blind side where he's been stationed for so many years in green and in the red of Munster.
Great attacking position for Sam Prendergast. Delgay, the left winger here for Argentina, is playing a little bit off. He's encouraging him to throw the ball. He'll probably close the gate quite quickly.
Scrum penalty to Ireland, and Thomas Clarkson receiving the plaudits.
He's getting a pat on the back of the head from his teammates. Brilliant there. It seemed like Argentina had a bit of a nudge on it. Really good low possession by everybody, and then they just start driving up. But it's Rob Herring's the guy who pops up first. The referee saying that will be a little bit illegal. I'm not shoving, but Brian and I are looking at each other going up here saying, we have no idea what just happened there, why that was given as a penalty. But
well, it's a swing.
It is.
It's a swing that the Irish will want to capitalise on as we see Cian Healy warming up. The veteran at the age of 37, waiting for his moment, which we'll deal with in a moment or two. Prendergast to Jamie Osborne, driving hard and straight up the middle. Round the corner comes Doris, at a rate of knots through that gain line. Prendergast, double pump of the ball, low, and the ball spits forwards just when Ireland were brewing.
Oh, that was so close. Beautiful from Prendergast, that double pump, that little delay, and Lowe's got to hold on to possession. What he's complaining about.
There's a knock on.
He said it was.
Thanks, okay.
And was he arguing that it was ripped?
Lost control.
Cian Healy, cap number 133, equaling the Irish record. And a standing ovation all around the Aviva Stadium. Brian O'Driscoll
didn't want it anyway.
It's still yours, technically. You just have to share. At least for one more week. Well, it's remarkable, isn't it, that he's still going. First played Argentina back in 2010. Cian Healy, the most decorated of Irish players, 5 Six Nations titles, 4 Champions Cups, 7 URC titles, 5 wins over the All Blacks. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. 3 World Cups, and he's still going strong in the front row, in the darkest of places, and he's putting it in again here. Bruising carry from Oviedo. Gomez Cordella continues the motion.
Last fake green. Use it!
Garcia burrowing in there. Fired away by Carreras. Finding only Hansen. Chance on the counter here for Ireland. Keenan sets off cross-field.
I'll have it now.
Good tackle made by Picardo, but Ireland with a penalty. Argentina call offside.
23. Always advancing in front of the check.
Picardo who was a little bit over-exuberant after the Carreras clearance.
You've got to kick the goal. You've got to kick the goal. There's a bit of a huddle going on. Conversation. Looks like they might go quick tap or kick to the corner. I think that's what they're doing.
Goodness. 3-point game. 12 minutes to play. And a dice roll. A dice roll from Ireland. Up goes the volume. In comes Gibson Park. Here's McCarthy. Turns and presents. Rob Herring has it. And the drive is on. And the Argentinians are holding on here as best they can. Molina makes the tackle. Gibson Park sniping and driven back. Clarkson feeds it out. Ireland tightly packed here, keeping it narrow. O'Mahony, game in the balance, you feel. Argentina hold out here, and they will draw so much strength. Can Ireland break through? Van der Fleer, the next man on the carry. Doris. Drilling defenders in the form of Molina and Van der Fleer. To scrabble back possession. Here's Lowe. Ireland need to find their cutting edge. Tyburn met. Quickly back into position. Argentina defensively. Herring now. Double figures on the face front. Osborne now ships it on. James Lowe keeping those hands free.
Did well not to throw a silly offload. Just this is about possession.
Healy, Prendergast, Herring. Final 10 minutes here in Dublin. Doris does well. An extra metre one. Is there space on the outside? Prendergast might find it. Held by Albornoz. In comes Ruiz, and Argentina straight over the top of the ball. What a counter ruck that is from the Pumas. They've stolen possession. An extraordinary job.
Hold in there, far side. Use it. Wait.
Garcia works it clear and then thumps it away. But he's not found touch. He's found Keenan. Hansen from 40 metres out. Argentina with a little bit more breathing space. Back it comes, and Prendergast sends it up. Albornoz waits and claims it and calls for the mark brilliantly under pressure from Ringrose.
Exceptional, really is in the air. He's been fantastic, apart from that missed drop goal. Near enough perfection. Look at that, fingertip stuff in the air, being hunted down by Ringrose.
Let's go.
Well, what a last 5 or 6 minutes we've had here, Ali. Breathless stuff.
And Argentina thump it clear. What will that last defensive effort do for them, Brian?
Listen, it was team decision to go with the quick tap. You have to back your convictions. They didn't get anything out of it. Doesn't mean that they won't get more opportunities, but when you are able to hold out the opposition, when you're going through double-digit phases on a defensive set, and you're able to turn the ball over, it just fills the lungs that little bit more. But they've got to go again for another set.
8 minutes left. Caja's on for Gajo for Argentina in the front row. Osborne for Ireland. Nice handling from Doris. Lowe goes wide. Here's Hansen. 2 men onto him. Tackle made by Carreras. Prendergast. Doris. Space here for Osborne. Had options on the inside through McCarthy. Hung on to it. And Argentina come up trumps again on the deck. Ireland penalised for not releasing. Just when you think they're about to find that space, find that opportunity, the Pumas intervene.
Just didn't quite get good numbers to the ruck, just slightly isolated. Gibson Park overruns it, McCarthy's late to it. Brilliant turnover from Santi Carreras. Gibson Park is looking for the offload, but he's needed in as first secure. Clear of the ruck, and by the time McCarthy gets there, Carreras already has a really good body position. Wrapped his arms onto the ball. Great picture for the referee and a good turnover.
We haven't seen that often over the last couple of weeks. The Autumn Nation Series is the body position of a jackler over the ball, getting it absolutely bang on pinpoint. And that's a brilliant example of how to get in there quickly and steal the ball.
Glimpse of Ireland's future here at halfback with Craig Casey at 9, Sam Prendergast at 10. Can they see this out from here? Have they got the wherewithal to get Ireland over the line? We thought it would be tight. Ireland seemed to have a firm grip on things after the first 40 minutes. But it's all to play for with 6 minutes left. And Argentina moving forwards. Caches.
Last feet, hey, last feet, thank you. Use it!
Just working it quietly, maybe seeking another penalty here. Argentina. Once more to the air from Albornoz. It's backwards off Malia, but Ireland have it, and Ringrose has secured it.
Okay, what are we saying here, boys? Just a penalty.
And it's looking as if we're going to see the intervention of our TMO again.
Time off. Just give us a little bit of space, please, Caelan.
Get those from
Caelan, I'll just talk with you. Right back, please. Right back. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to formally review this.
Paul, I'm going to show you a dangerous clean out by 18 blue.
Okay.
There's shoulder to head contact.
Sure, okay. So we're looking at potential dangerous clean out by 18 blue.
Francisco Gomez Cordela.
Focus on 18 blue.
There's the clear out on Doris.
Okay,
And he might be in trouble for this.
Off-field review for me. I believe that is foul play. And we do have head contact, yellow card. Okay, camera back to me, please, Richard. Okay, 18 blue. Foul play. Let's yellow card switch off.
A fourth yellow card of the evening.
18.
A second for Argentina. And the 39-year-old Francisco Gomez Cordela leaves the field. Argentina will play the remaining 5 minutes with only 14 men.
And he might have cost his team the chance of winning this game. It's just silly there at the breakdown. He isn't absolutely flying in with pace to hit Caelan Doris, but it almost looks like a bit of a silly cheap shot coming in with the shoulder and rising up. And rightly so, the referee, and fair play to the whole team there, getting that decision right.
I was just saying thank you for trusting the process. And
Crucial moments, and I'm sure that Felipe Contepomi would have hoped for something rather different from a man who's been around the block, a grizzled veteran. Has he cost his side an opportunity of their first win in Dublin?
It was unnecessary. The ruck was won. Referee was calling hands off. The job had been done. It was just leaving an additional mark that caught the attention of the TMO.
Doris at the line out. Ireland now putting the squeeze on.
Down wide green. First stop.
Casey to Osborne. Prendergast sends it wide. Keenan low. One-on-one. He's gone through the first. Offloaded nicely. Here's Keenan.
No hands now.
Prendergast again, using McCarthy back against the grain. To the shorter side. Ringrose, low slung. Argentina again, counter-rucking hard. The ball there to be won. Keenan reacts first. Casey to McCarthy. Byrne stopped in his tracks by Santiago Grondona. Picked up by Casey. Probes inside through Hansen. Casey again caught in possession. He's hung on to it though. Prendergast fishes it out. Here's O'Mahony.
No! Leave it now!
Caelan Doris hugging this right-hand touchline. But for the moment, Ireland's intense on concentrating around the fringes. Here's McCarthy again.
No! Release! Thank you!
Omani. The match within their compass as Argentina scramble for the ball through Grondona. Prendergast now finding Keenan. What a tackle that is from Delguy. Prendergast again gets up and fizzes another one to Herring. Prendergast, Hansen, scrag to the ground. 2 minutes to seal the deal here for those in green. James Lowe sets it back. Malia doing his level best to get out of the way. McCarthy inviting defenders onto him. Osborne, powerful runner in the contact, but again, so many Argentine shirts, and there the ball for Oviedo, and it's an Argentine penalty. They'll get another shot at this. The clock against them, but the instructions clear from Felipe Contepomi. Keep your heads and drive upfield.
And it comes from the fight in the tackle from Argentina. The dominant tackle so far, 25 in the game from them. And you just watch, he slips off, then all of a sudden, leg drive back in over the top, and then the heavyweights come in with an unbelievable counter ruck. And then I think Osborne tries to pick it up on the ground, and that's where the penalty comes from. One more bite at it, Brian.
Yeah, sure.
It's still very much in the balance. We've got referee looking to move things along.
Yeah, sure.
The big question is,
guys,
I want to give away a penalty.
The yellow card will remain a yellow card. Not a high degree of danger. It remains a yellow card. Thanks, Richard.
Not a decision that will have any bearing on the rest of this contest, other than the fact that they're playing a man down, of course, and they've got to find 50 metres. And they've got to retain possession from here, given the way the clock stands. Albornoz across the face of that defence. Carreras. Grondona. One last big effort from this Simon Easterby drilled Irish defence. Tyke Byrne looking to affect the turnover, gives up the fight. Crisp handling from Argentina, but behind the gain line and running out of space. Carreras, though, works well in fields. Can't find the punch to get back inside the Irish half. Albornoz. Moroni finds a way. Once more, the big shots rain in from the green shirts, and the counter ruck from O'Mahony. It's picked up and it got through the middle here. Driving to the 10-metre line. Juan Martin Gonzalez. Carreras still believing. Argentina still believing. Delguy to the 22. Clock deep in the red. Albornoz swallowed up in the tackle. Oviedo. A drop goal would give them the draw. You sense they want more. Tight they go. They've gone 40 metres. They need to find another 15. In comes Doris to try to make a nuisance of himself in terms of Argentine possession. Gonzalez with one more drive. Lungs bursting at this point on each side. Who's got the necessary composure? Will Ireland give up another penalty here?
No hands!
Almost 2 minutes into the red. Still they come forwards.
Hold there! Use it! Ball available!
Oviedo lays it up. Ireland just cannot get their hands on it. Now they have it! It's gone forwards from Argentina. And the Aviva Stadium collectively lets out a sigh of relief. Ireland squeeze it. They got the win by the tiniest of margins. But they're back on the horse, somehow or other. Much more themselves, certainly in the first half than last week. There was a bounce and a belief and ultimately a cussedness which saw them through. Argentina's search for a win in Ireland continues. Ireland 22, Argentina 19.